Welcome back, everybody. In today's episode, I'm going to be doing an unboxing of Milwaukee's new Orbital sander, and we'll do a quick test and a little comparison against my trusty Snap-on. Let's get to it. Alright guys, here's the exciting part. I've been itching all night to open this up, but had to get the kids to bed and so on and so forth. So let's pop this open. Just for starters, I am not sponsored by Milwaukee. I paid for this out of pocket. However, I'm a bit of a tool nerd. If you guys have seen my previous videos, you know this isn't my normal style of video, but I get excited for new tools, and this one was definitely on the top of my list of things to buy when it came out. All right, so we got our first battery there. I've got a few M12 batteries, but they're all getting pretty old, and I decided to opt for the kit as well. I got it through KMS Tools, and they had a really good sale on for New Year's. Pull everything out. There we go. Actually, it's a little lighter than I expected. We'll throw it on a scale, and we'll compare it to the Snap-on there with the battery and whatnot. Got a couple of our adapters. Milwaukee is coming out with a vacuum system, from what I understand. All right, we got our charger. Got plenty of those kicking around. We've got our other backing pad for the stick-it style paper. And as you guys see, it is set up for vacuum system already. You can see everything clips into the back here. And it looks like we got one for right side, and I'm assuming this goes left side. Yeah, so that's kind of cool, depending on which side you prefer your hose to go to. If you're right or left-handed, so on and so forth. And let's see what else we have here. Lots of cardboard. I think just the manual and battery left. Other batteries. Now this battery I was really excited for because I got a heated vest for Christmas, and I don't have any of the small batteries for it, so that'll be handy for that. All right, guys. I'm not going to go through the instructions because I think this is pretty self-explanatory. So this toolless pad swap is pretty cool. Definitely a feature that'd be nice on my Snap-on. I went to change the pad on it the other day, and it takes a very skinny wrench, which I could not find. So there we go. Awesome. Alright guys, let's fire this thing up for the first time and see how it feels. Okay, so I just got the small battery in there, the CP 2.5. Okay, it looks like we are lowish on battery, but that feels nice. Got some juice to it, for sure. Little heavier than the Snap-on once you throw a battery in there. However, it is going to be really nice not holding a hose. If you guys have seen my videos, you know I work in a heavy-duty body shop. If I'm climbing on the roof of a semi, this is going to be handy to have, not dragging a hose up along the side of the vehicle, or if you're standing the side of a vehicle, car, automotive stuff. Anyway, again, not having that hose on there is going to be nice. That feels good. All right, so I got my official giddiness and playing with it out of the way. I'm probably not done playing with it. Cool tool. I did buy the 3/16 version. This is the 2585-22, which Milwaukee markets as a bodyman sander because it's got a larger throw. They have a 3/32 one as well, with a shorter throw. However, I've had a 3/16 throw my last 7 years in the trade as an auto body prepper and painter and body tech, but I do primarily prep and painting. So I decided to go with what I know. I've never had an issue refinishing or prepping panels for refinishing with a 3/16 throw, so I figured I'd give it a try. Now, Milwaukee's marketing department says it's made for sanding down filler, and you can sand filler on 3 doors. They've been watching too much Netflix. You should be knocking down filler with a block, not an Orbital. However, that's beside the point. Let's do a couple little tests here. So the Milwaukee with small battery in it comes in at a whopping, it's 1,116 grams. And the Snap-on comes in at 853. roughly. So definitely a little bit more weight to this guy. However, you don't have the weight of the hose dragging you down either. And just for the sake of science, let's throw on the bigger battery as well. I assume that's going to add a little bit more to it. Try to somewhat balance it here so I'm not throwing the scale off too far. Okay, it looks like we're at about 1,270 grams, give or take. So definitely a little on the chonky side, but ultimately not horrible to manipulate either. So let's whip out a panel and try this thing out, guys. All right, guys, so unfortunately the only panel I have to sand is this SATA mini hood that's been sitting in my basement for like 3 years, and honestly this is probably just a good kick to finally actually bother doing something with it and get some metal flake on it. But yeah, before I start sanding it, let's have a real quick chat about this thing. I think this is going to be an absolute game changer for DIY guys doing stuff from home. I've seen a lot of guys who have the Fuji spray setups because they don't want to buy the big compressor. And quite frankly, you want a big compressor for running a DA like this. Like, it's not necessary. I've sanded with my little 20-gallon snap-on compressor from Costco. However, like, you can run the sander for about a minute and then the compressor's trying to play catch up and then your sander's just glugging along, not really doing much. So for guys who don't want to drop $1,000 or more on a compressor, this is going to be a great option because you can just run and go without it. I was actually going to show you guys both the snap-on and the Milwaukee sander here, but by the time I get my compressor plugged in, set up, an airline run, I'll have this thing done with this one, which is part of the reason I bought it. Being primarily a painter, I prep as well. I don't mind prepping. However, I'm worth more in the booth to the company I work for, so that's where they keep me. However, when I do sand or prep, it's usually I run out, I do one panel on the floor. It's not worth me grabbing, well, it's worth it for me to grab an airline. Obviously, I need one, but it's going to be so much faster, more efficient for me to just grab this guy, throw a battery in it, and go to town. So, without me nattering too much more, let's throw a piece of 400 on here, and we'll try this out. You guys may have noticed, the more astute of you anyway, I do have a Norton softer backing pad on here. That's what we run at work. It's what it's supplied for our sanders because, as you can see from the shape of this one, they are a wear item. So, let's get this thing sand. This hood is soft. Okay, very initial impressions. It's a sander. It works. It sands. I do really like the variable speed trigger. It's very much like on an air-powered Orbital. The more you push, the faster it goes. And when I'm sanding, I do use that control. If I'm near an edge, I generally slow down a little bit, let off. I'm in the middle of the panel, push right down. And you do get that with the Milwaukee as well. You can just go slow, keep it nice and easy, or get real fast if you're in the middle of the panel. So, super cool, guys. I'm pretty excited about this tool. I've been waiting for Milwaukee to drop one for a while. As you can see in the background, I am a big fan of their tools. I got their Insider, got a few of their drills, impacts, got more of their tools at work. I like their hand tools too. I sound like a Milwaukee fanboy, and you know what? I am. I do like their tools. They're pretty good bang for your buck. Speaking of pricing, these are pretty expensive. I think they come in at about 600 Canadian for the kit. However, they are on sale at KMS Tools right now, who also is not sponsoring me. However, I spend a lot of money there. KMS Tools has them on sale right now, I think till the end of January. I think it's $470 for the kit. And I bought it online on New Year's, so it was an additional 25 bucks off, which is pretty cool. So definitely worth it to buy it on sale, especially if you don't have the batteries. And then I think the tool itself comes in right around 400. So that's pretty on par with the Snap-on. I think these guys, as well as the Mac sanders, I think are around the $400 mark for tool only, obviously, but you need a big compressor to run it. So price-wise, pretty comparable to a professional pneumatic one. But overall, guys, I'm pretty excited about this. Let's finish sanding this, and then we'll probably call it for the video.
while I'm sanding this panel, I can throw a few more thoughts at you guys here. Most of my comments so far have been towards the DIY guys, or guys working at home, small shops, whatever. If you're a full-time prepper, I don't think this is going to completely replace pneumatic sanders for you. I think it would be a great additional tool to have in your toolbox. I know myself and many of my coworkers, we have multiple tools that do the same things, but in different capacities. Like I've got multiple spray guns that do similar things, but some do certain things better than others, if that makes sense. So this is a great tool if you need to just grab it and do a quick sand somewhere. Don't need to grab an airline, whatever. I have discussed that at length here. However, I don't think it's going to completely replace pneumatic sanders, especially with that additional weight. If you're sanding all day, every day, that weight, you're going to feel it at the end. I've seen people complain like, oh, batteries are going to wear out. It's like, most people have multiple batteries, like even the 2 batteries that come in this kit. By the time you're done sanding with 1 battery and throw it on the charger, it's probably going to be mostly charged by the time you burn through your second battery. So battery life, not a huge deal if you already have tools in the Milwaukee ecosystem. For body guys though, I think this would be a good option. You probably don't want to be stripping panels with this thing. You're probably going to want to use a pneumatic sander. Again, like I said, it's not going to completely replace the use of a pneumatic sander in the professional world, but it's definitely going to be a good supplement to it. For you other painters out there like myself, I think this is going to be a wicked tool to have in your box. Being able to just grab a sander, go to town real quick, throw it back in your box, good to go. I think it's definitely going to help with efficiency, speed things up for you. I have seen the complaint online that like, oh, well, you're always going to have an airline with you anyway to blow off a panel. In my opinion, that's not 100% the case. If you're just sanding a quick panel, your prepper, helper, apprentice, whatever, can potentially blow it off for you after the fact before it comes into the booth. If you just need to get out in the shop and assist with prepping on something, perhaps someone's already using a pneumatic on that job. I know my particular shop's a little different in that regard. Like being a heavy duty shop, we have multiple people sanding on one job at times. So again, it's up to you guys to make a judgment call on if this is going to fit for you, but I think it's going to be an awesome tool. Definitely a game changer in the trade. Outside of the trade, I was actually doing some renovations in my bathroom today, and my little sheet sander that I had, just like essentially a sanding block with sheets on it instead of sandpaper, was not cutting through the paint where I had to do a little drywall repair. So I grabbed this thing, threw a sheet of 80 on it. It burnt through it really quickly. It was awesome. Super handy. Didn't have to run an extension cord, power cord, air cord, obviously. So I'm really excited to see what Milwaukee comes out with in regards to the vacuum or dust collection system. I don't know if it's something you can just hook up to one of their M18 vacuums right now or how that's going to work, but I'm keen to see what other people do. I assume I could get a hookup and just throw my shop vac right to it, because it'd definitely be cool to be able to do dustless sanding in the garage. And I think that's about it for my thoughts here, guys. I'll just finish sanding this panel here and then give you a final breakdown. And I lied. One more note here. The link I put in the description to these tools is to KMS Tools, their flyer for them. It shows they're on sale till the end of January. However, when I click the actual link to the tool on the flyer, they aren't showing up on sale. So I'm not sure if that's the case if you have to go to the store. But nonetheless, link to the tools are there. They may or may not be on sale when you go to buy them.
So just some final thoughts here, guys. I know this is just sort of an initial impressions video. I can't spend too much time here in the garage with nothing to prep. But in the coming months, I'll be sure to do an update video, let you guys know how I like it. But going forward here, honestly, I think this is going to be my go-to. I think the Snap-on's going to go into semi-retirement here. Now, I do work in a heavy-duty shop. We do sand some big stuff. So in that case, I'll probably be grabbing this one still just for the sake of longevity. But honestly, I think this is going to be my go-to at home. This one's not going to be coming home with me anymore because this thing's a heck of a lot easier than setting up the compressor. So for you guys working from home or in smaller shops or just like tinkering, go with one of these. You don't need 240 power for a big compressor. You don't need the big compressor. If you're spraying, obviously you do, but if you're just doing some prep work or running one of those Fuji spray systems where you don't need a compressor, I think this is going to be your guy. So I really appreciate you guys watching today. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.